Whoops, got a little hole. So what's the best wader repair product out there? One you can even fix a great big gaping hole like this. Well, stick around and I'm going to show you. I'm Joel Strickland and this is Surviving Duck Season. It's the first time I've ever intentionally put a hole in a pair of waders. Thanks for watching Surviving Duck Season, where we feed your waterfowl obsession and help you to maximize your experience. Now, if you're new to this channel, we've got tons of great duck hunting videos and the very best video library of tips and tactics that you're going to find anywhere. And whether you're new to hunting or you've hunted for a very long time, if you're an obsessed hunter, you're in the right place. Now, one of the biggest challenges duck hunters face is waders, or leaky waders. Now, I don't care what brand you have, it's a virtual certainty that you're going to have a leak at some point, whether it's from a manufacturer's defect or from something self-inflicted like a tear. Now, there's lots of products out there that you can use, and I've tried most of them. Today I'm going to touch on some of the most popular brands and tell you about my experience with them. Then I'm going to let you know about a product that you've probably never heard of. And for all duck hunting waders, it's the best product that you can use. Later I'm going to demonstrate how to fix 3 of the most common types of wader leaks with that product. Now, I've got a list here of 6 different products that I'm going to talk about, and I've had people tell me that every single one of these products has worked great for them. But at the same time, I've also had people tell me that nearly every one of these products except for one hasn't worked for them. One works every time though, but it does have a little problem. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So how is it that some people have success with most products while others have failures with it? It's because that these products are all different types of adhesives that are created to work on certain types of materials, not everything. And it's either going to be a permanent or a temporary fix. And the different wader manufacturers make their waders out of different materials. Just because it's a boot doesn't mean it's rubber. The different types of breathable fabrics are different. Of course, you got neoprene and canvas and all types of other things that waders are made out of. That's why most of these products work sometimes, but not all the time. First product, Aquaseal. This product is probably the most recognized name for wader repair. I've used it for years and years, and I had pretty decent luck with using it on neoprene waders, at least up, on the legs and up on the chest or something like that. But repairing breathable waders, it's very much a temporary fix at best, and I've never really had it work on the boot part of the waders when I've tried to repair that. Contact cement. Now, this can be a permanent bond on certain materials, and they must be perfectly clean and dry before applying. In fact, a lot of the products you've got to be perfectly clean and dry in order to have success with it. I've only had sporadic success with contact cement. Shoe goo. Okay, I've heard of some people really liking this one. I've never had any success with it though. Flex-Seal. I've tried it several times, but it's never held for more than just a few moments for me. So this is a pair of banded waders that I got as a replacement pair to some that leaked in the seams on the very first day. After about less than 1 week, probably like maybe 3 or 4 times of using it, I had a crack in the boot. They would not warranty the waders. They said it was wear and tear. I say, how can that happen in 3 days? I mean, it wasn't like there was a hole. It was literally, you could tell where the crack was. But it's right as the bend of the boot is right there. Okay, it's here. You can't see it because I covered it with Flex-Seal. As you can see, the Flex-Seal didn't work. I put on 1 coat of it, and then after it dried, I think I let it set a day or 2, and then put them on, and then I took 1 step and it cracked. So then I put more on it, and I layered it up. I mean, I tried different kinds of everything to get these to work because this is not natural rubber, so there's not a lot of adhesives that will attach to it. I hope that this Flex-Seal would work, but as you can see, it just doesn't. I mean, it's completely cracked. SG20. Now, this product was actually developed for farriers in the equestrian industry. They would use it to build up a horse's hoof. Then somebody tried it out on their boots, and it worked. And then they started marketing it for that. And eventually it came out as a waiter fix. Now, I've used it quite a few times. It's not very flexible. Another issue that you have with it is that you've got to work with it very quick when you apply it. It will set up literally in seconds. This applicator right here, it clogs up so fast. You've got to, it's a two-part like epoxy type deal, and you squirt and it kind of comes together, and literally if you're not just constantly squirting, if you stop for literally like 2 seconds, it will solidify inside this. So they give you a few extra applicator tips, but the problem is, for the most part, you're going to go through those 4 and still have half a tube left. I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. I don't know how many of these things I've bought and used over the years. This is a pair of Drake Equators from about, I guess I got them about 4 years ago, and they started leaking in the seams after a couple of weeks. And so the first thing I did was I got some SG20. I'd heard about that product and thought, well, maybe that stuff will work really well. So I put some right on the inside of the crotch, just on one spot where I found the hole to be. And so then what I did, it cracked within a few days. So I put some more and then it cracked. So then after that, I decided, well, what if I try putting Aquaseal on top of the SG20 and see how that does? And so eventually I kept having more and more leaks on the seams, and I wound up actually running a bead of this SG20 almost on the entire inseam of the wader, and then I put the Aquaseal on top of it, and I got a few days out of it, but it still didn't really perform very well. It still kept cracking and all that. And then just to have to go through doing 2 products, it just was a mess. That's when I discovered the 3M 5200. Now this stuff will work on virtually any fabric or material that I know of. It's permanent, quick, and easy. It was developed for the marine industry, for boats, ships, heavy equipment that are around or in the water. It's a permanent, strong bond. There's only one problem though. It's white. So if you're looking to patch something on the outside of your waders, it looks terrible. But there's actually a product that I like better for waders than the 5200. Yep, it's true. Now, the guys from High and Dry that make the most reliable and durable waders reached out to 3M about a year ago to ask them about developing a product for waders. It turns out that they already had a product that's been out for probably 10 years. It's called 4000 UV. It's a little bit more flexible than 5200, and it's black. It's a fast cure just like the 5200, but unfortunately you can only find the stuff in large containers, you know, big buckets or in a caulk gun type tubes, and it's really expensive. But I've got some really good news. High and Dry is now making it available to you in their repair kit with a 3-ounce tube of the 4000. It's only 20 bucks. Just like the 5200, the 4000 will adhere to anything. It's pretty incredible stuff, and it's a fast cure. So basically, if you were to repair your waders in the afternoon or the evening, you could be back hunting in your waders the next morning. That is that quick. You can find it on the High and Dry website. I'll leave a link in the description. Now, here's how to use it. The most common repairs are first, the leaky seams, number 2, a pinhole, number 3, a large tear. Now, I've got a pair of banded waders. Their most common problem is leaky seams, so I'm going to show you how to do that. If you've got waders with leaky seams, now if they're right out of the box leaking, then take them back. But if they're not under warranty still, then here's how you're going to fix them. So you're going to get your adhesive, get the seams right here. This is in the crotch area, which is a very, very common spot. Even wear and tear sometimes with certain brands of waders will wear out the seams. We're just going to squirt out some of the product here along the seam. It's super easy to use this stuff too, guys. I mean, just... you know, what you'll want to do is you want to cover over the entire seam. You know, this is tape, and pretty much everybody uses seam tape. So you're going to want to go over the top of the seam and around the tape itself. And if your leak is right here, then that's where you'll put it. Get this stuff squirted out real good, And then what you'll do is you'll just spread it over this seam right here like this. And you're just kind of working out the bubbles. And just make sure you get all the way over the seam and the tape. It doesn't need to be super thick. It just needs to be covered over it really, really well. And make sure that if you for some reason have a need to do all of your seams all the way down, do them in batches, you know, to where you're, you know, where you can get them stretched out pretty good, and then let it set. Once it gets to where it's kind of tack free, then you can move on to another spot if you need to do that. But basically, you know, you get right here in the crotch area where your leak is, get this spread around real good, and then you're good to go. What if you've got waders that have insulation on the inside, breathable waders with insulation? You can't find the seam on them unless you rip out your insulation. You don't want to do that. Well, you can obviously do it from the outside. The great thing about this 4000 is it's black. This is a pair of banded waders as well, and right here is a seam fail. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt the product right here over this seam, and show you how simple it is. Again, this stuff is super duper easy to use. Just make sure that you get all the way over the seam. I'm going over the stitching and everything because some of the stitching has kind of come out. And so here's what we do. Same thing just like before. Just smear it on there really good. It doesn't have to be real thick. I mean, it's not even 1/8 of an inch thick probably. If you feel like that after you use it it's not quite strong enough, you can just come right back in and add another layer over top of it. But usually this is plenty good right here. And that's it. Now, I'm going to show you also on this pair of waders there's a pinhole, and that's the next type of wader repair that I'm going to show you. I have a pinhole on this side of the waders. Let's see if I can find where I marked it. What we can do very, very simply is, again, it's nothing to it, y'all. I mean, literally you just squirt a dab, you know, about the size of a nickel, so where you can get out past it. And obviously if it's a bigger hole than that, then just go out, you know, 1 inch maybe around the hole, and then that's it. I mean, that's all you do. Okay? And then once that dries overnight, you can use those waders and they'll be good to go. Okay, now we're going to repair a major tear. I've got a brand new pair of Red Zone 2s right here. Let's put a hole in them. It's the first time I've ever intentionally put a hole in a pair of waders. So anyway, here's what I'm going to do. So I've got some duct tape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it for backing. Okay, and that's very, very simple. If you had a smaller hole, you could also do something like maybe use something for backing, like a paper towel or something that you could hold on the back. But what I'm going to do is just stick this there. It'll just kind of hold the fabric together and make it a little easier for me when I start repairing it. So I got my gloves on. Now we're going to get the adhesive and put some on it just like we did on the last. You want to get a lot of extra product so you've got a base to really spread it to so it adheres. You want to go out past the rip, extend it in all directions past the rip. So that's that. Now I'm going to just spread this out over the rip. And then what we'll do, this is going to have to set for a while, and then once it's set, we'll flip it over. My suggestion to y'all, honestly, is you want to let this thing set until it's completely cured when you've got a gigantic rip like this. I mean, you might be able to go ahead and try to repair it, you know, maybe in 5 or 6 hours and then go and do the other side, but I would rather be safe than sorry, because again, this is a gigantic rip. It's not like it's just a little poke. It's not a little 1-inch tear. This is, you know, this is like 7 or 8 inches long probably. And so what I would say is let this thing set up completely overnight, and then go and do the other side and let it set overnight. When you got a gigantic tear and you don't want to, you know, spend another few $100s and buy another pair of waders, the best thing you can do is just to take a couple of days and get it done the right way. So there you have it, the very best product you can get to repair your waders, and it's in black. So, have you seen this video right here? It's an awesome hunting video. Make sure you check it out. Until next time, I'm Joel Strickland. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.